So, welcome everyone to Expanding the View. My name is Stephen Filante, and I'm going to facilitate this call today. I have my dog in my lap. And hopefully you can't see him, but if you hear him, you'll know who that is. That's Rafa. Okay, so let's take 30 seconds in silence to get fully present. Whatever, any distractions that are taking you away from being all the way here on the call, please set them aside. Bring yourself fully here. So welcome to all of you, and welcome to those who are viewing this at a later date. It's nice to be with you too. So today we are exploring the Expanding the View pathway to alignment. And I think that I was invited to introduce this because I am so excited and jazzed about how it frees people up to let go of their limiting beliefs and step into their creativity and power. And I'm struck by the power of it. I use it every week myself and with my clients. And so today I'm going to introduce the pathway and coach one of you through all 4 steps. And during this time, you'll have an opportunity to notice your viewpoint about a topic and imagine other ways of viewing this topic. So first, an invitation to relax and enjoy this. Don't worry about understanding it or being able to do it perfectly. My hope for today is that you will be energized and excited about learning and playing with this pathway. So a possible viewpoint that you might take for this call is, I can do this. Wherever I am right now and however it seems, I can do this. This is an easy, fun, and powerful process. So we asked in preparation for you to explore your viewpoint about creating or growing a coaching business, whether or not you have interest or a plan to create one. And we'll be playing with that in a few minutes. So first, I want to introduce you to the process. So expanding the view, it's an alignment pathway. And like the other pathways, this process moves clients to a place where they effortlessly embody and express their authentic selves. Every pathway does that. This one works by identifying limiting beliefs, trying on other beliefs, and creating something new from a more alive, empowered place that comes from trying on those other viewpoints. So I want to start by introducing you to some of the assumptions that underlie expanding the view. We talk about assumptions a lot in this process. So 1, how we think about things and what we tell ourselves about them matters. So our attitudes, assumptions, opinions, and belief create our experience and the world. So I'll give you some examples from my own life. This is from a while ago, but I used to spend a lot of time feeling like I didn't belong. Almost anywhere where there was a group of people, I was saying to myself, oh God, I do not belong here. I don't fit. Whether it was a party, a workshop, almost any gathering. So I shifted my viewpoint from I don't belong here to feeling that I don't belong here doesn't mean I don't belong here. And it was so freeing because it let me feel the feelings that I was feeling, but shift the result. So where before the result was I felt like I had to leave, or I got really self-critical and froze. In this case, I just said, boy, I sure feel like I don't belong here, but I think I'm going to stay and check it out. And it changed my life. Yeah, people reacted to me differently. I was different in those situations. And over time, I no longer felt the feeling. I got enough experience of checking it out that I quit assuming. You know, that was sort of my baseline assumption is I don't belong, and that changed. So I think I'll leave it at that because we have a lot to cover today. So that was number one. How we think about things, what we tell ourselves about them matters. Number two is when freed from limiting, distorting, and undermining beliefs, people move toward life-sustaining choices. This is an important assumption. I'll say it again. When freed from limiting, distorting, and undermining beliefs, people move toward life-sustaining choices. With this assumption, all we have to do is free people, and then they will automatically do things that are life-sustaining. And so we don't have to direct them. We don't have to fix them. All we're doing is helping them get free. And to me, that's the essence of this pathway, is let's get free from these ways of thinking that make you less than your full self or distort who you can be in the world. So number three, and I'm not saying these are the only assumptions, but these are important ones. Number three is we have the freedom to choose how we respond to any circumstance. This is, as coaches, we need to own this one fully because our clients will come with circumstances, disasters, overwhelm, many, impossible situations. And what we hold is not, gosh, how can we fix these circumstances? We hold, let's get you free to choose how you will respond to this. And that is the essence of this pathway, getting free to choose how we respond to anything that's showing up in our lives, which to me is so exciting. I know that people can get hung up in the steps of this. And what I'd like you to get focused on is those simple sense of, let's get you free, because that's something compelling to our clients. Not, let me take you through some steps. Let's get you free. So before we go through the steps that I just referred to, let's play with viewpoints. And so just to introduce viewpoints, what we mean is simply the way we look at things. Things meaning situations, relationships, ourselves, anything. It is our viewpoint. And other ways to think about it is perspectives, points of view, those, and by the way, let your client find their own words for these. Viewpoints are built from attitudes, assumptions, opinions, and beliefs. These are the building blocks of our viewpoints. It's, here's what I think about this. Here's my opinion. Here's my belief. Here's my assumption. And the thing to remember, one thing to remember is we always have a viewpoint. There is nothing in the world that we don't have a viewpoint about. So if you think about anything right now, I actually invite you to think about anything, even something you think you have no opinion about or you don't care about, whatever. Even if you know nothing about it and you're completely uninterested, that's a way of looking at it, and it has an effect. So I may be completely uninterested in how a particular piece of machinery gets built. So if somebody says to me, what do you think about how this piece of machinery gets built? My viewpoint is, gee, I really don't care. I just don't have I just don't care. I don't know anything. That's actually a viewpoint. Because I could also think about it as, I don't know anything about it. I'm fascinated to learn. I don't know anything about it. Boy, could we talk about it? So just know, and this is really important, is be aware that whatever your clients are bringing, they are coming with a viewpoint. You can always use expanding the view. And what we're looking for is, what is the impact of their viewpoint? So we asked you to come up with viewpoints about creating or growing a coaching business. So I want to check in with you. If you don't know your viewpoint, please take a few seconds to discover what it is. And at the same time, what I want you to look at now is what is the effect or the impact that your way of thinking about it has on you. So it doesn't matter, your viewpoint might be, I'm not interested in creating a coaching business. Look then, so what's the impact on me of that viewpoint? And so I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about it, and then we'll hear from a few people, both your viewpoint and what the impact on you is of that viewpoint. And if you're interested, please raise your hand if you're interested in sharing. And we'll call on you.
And just as a reminder for the phone people, press *6 to mute and unmute yourself. Thank you.
Okay, so Sylvia, your viewpoint and the impact.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yes, thanks.
Thank you. So my viewpoint is, yes, I want to, build a coaching business, not just in the community, but for like at home, through working through home. So my viewpoint is, it's hard to know exactly where to get started and what are some of the things that, I need to know, like some basics to get started. So I'm having problems coming up with that. And how it impacts me is, sometimes just getting a starting point, having a few things that can spur me on.
Yeah.
So it affects me because I'm not able to completely move forward with the ideas that are in my mind.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to overstate it because I can't think of a better word, is it paralyzes you. It stops you from being in motion. So
yeah,
that's important to notice. That's what we're looking for with viewpoints, is what's the impact of it. So the very same viewpoint could have radically different impact depending on who it is. Let's hear from a few others. Anybody else want to share a viewpoint and impact?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, who is this?
It's Ratna Devi.
Oh, great. Yeah, I can't see you. So, yeah. Go ahead, Ratna Devi.
I have a viewpoint that I'm no good at doing coaching with organizations. I'm quite good one-to-one.
Yeah.
But, because I have never actually been employed in organization. I've always been self-employed, that I lack the experience. And the impact of it is that I feel quite sad, because I think I could have a greater impact in my work if I was broadening it out, reaching more people.
Yeah. So it sounds like not only sadness, but that possibly it holds you back from even trying to reach out to organizations.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, really clear. I can't tell who else raised your hand.
Paulina and Ellen.
Great.
Paulina's unmuted right now.
Great. Paulina, hi.
Hi. Yes, so I have a viewpoint that I am uncomfortable taking money for coaching services.
Oh, wow. And so what's the impact of that?
The impact is that it's halted my coaching business.
Ah, yeah.
Wow. And that doesn't feel, well, I mean, I don't know. I'm mixed feelings. Sometimes it feels okay, and sometimes it feels sad.
Yeah, right. It means that you're having trouble creating a financial income from coaching. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean it's good or bad, but that's the impact. And if you want to shift it, we can shift the viewpoint. And then the other person who raised their hand, who is that? And then we'll move on to the next step.
That's Ellen, and she is unmuted. Go ahead, Ellen.
Ellen, go ahead.
I'm wanting to be an executive coach, and I've been doing some of it, but going to find out networking and find clients, it just seems like everybody is an executive coach, and it's flooded with coaches.
Okay.
So the impact is that I feel very overwhelmed, and I just feel like it's never going to happen.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So hopefully through these, this is step one in expanding the view. What is your current viewpoint, and what's the impact of it? The next part of it, which we're going to play with right now, is, well, what are some other ways that we could look at this? And so I'm going to ask one of the people who spoke before, Ellen, Paulina, Ratna Devi, I don't remember who else. There was another, Sylvia, I think. Who would like to be our person that we come up with a few different ways of looking at this? Anybody interested in being that person? And the whole group is going to help come up with different viewpoints. So it's just going to be about your viewpoint that we're going to shift. Anybody? Sylvia, great. Will you remind us what your current viewpoint is, Sylvia?
Okay, my viewpoint was that since I'm interested in the business, I am having a hard time as to where to get started. What kind of questions, should I be asking myself on how I can do this?
Yeah. And so I'm going to ask everyone, including those who are viewing this video, to come up with an alternate viewpoint. So the current viewpoint is, I don't know how to get started, so I can't get started. Let's brainstorm some. And everyone, please come up with one, and I'll just call on a few people, and we'll hear. And you can always raise your hand too, if you would like to share one. And Sylvia, if you would like to share one, please add one there. So Paulina, we've got you unmuted. What's another way that Sylvia could look at this?
I mean, it's a little bit drastic, but I know exactly where to get started.
Yeah, I don't know. Thanks for the viewpoint that it's drastic. I could think of much more drastic things than that. Okay. Let's see. Jackie, will you help? Oh, yes. Sheila, how about you?
How about I have everything I need to get started?
Cool. And Who else raised their hand, Jackie?
I'm sorry, Bree. Her
Great.
you're unmuted.
Go ahead, Bree.
Oops.
Bree, go ahead.
I've already started.
Oh, I've already started. Oh. And who else, Jackie? Was there anybody else who? Elena. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I may not know how to get started, but I am capable of figuring it out.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Let me throw one in. I love a challenge. All right. So.
Rashmi also.
Oh, great. Yeah. Rashmi, go ahead.
That I may not know how to, what is the way forward, but let me take one step, any step.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Okay. Sylvia, yeah, go ahead.
So I have a list of affirmations. I call those affirmations. And I like how you put them, that they are, the polar opposite of, what my viewpoint is. And I love all of those. And some of them actually reflect what I put down on my list. And I do them every day.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah.
I do them every day, sometimes several times a day, trying to move forward, but just still not being able to move forward because I've only started so far, and here's my stopping point.
Yeah. Yep. Right. So, yep. Time to get some coaching.
Yeah.
Okay. So, before I coach one of you, let's go over the 4 steps of the pathway. And what I think about these 4 steps as the building blocks of the pathway, and they can feel limiting or uncomfortable or awkward at first. And I promise that as you practice and get better, the steps will fade into the background and the process becomes a flow. So think about the steps of learning to drive a car and, learning how to start it and drive it. When we first begin it, it feels clunky and awkward. And eventually we don't have to think about it. And the same with expanding the view. With practice, you will all become great expanding the view drivers without having to think about it and without getting stuck in the steps. And the steps will really support you in creating powerful expanding the view coaching. So step 1 is to identify a neutral topic, which is a topic with no judgments and opinions. Step 2, discover multiple viewpoints. And you'll not only be discovering, you'll be exploring. Number 3, we choose a fresh viewpoint. And number 4, we brainstorm possible actions. Those are the steps. We will go over them again. And during the demo, I will be talking about where we are in the process. So you'll be able to notice how these steps show up. The other thing I want you to notice in the demo is that expanding the view, the pathway starts just like every other session. I get the topic. I find out what is important about it and ask what the client wants to achieve in this session, which ensures that we're working with the deeper and transformational agendas. So I'm not going to just immediately start exploring viewpoints. First, I want to get the client into the deeper and transformational agenda so that we are working at a transformational level. Okay, I want to coach all of you. I only get to coach one. I'm looking for a volunteer. Actually, it doesn't matter if it's somebody on video or audio. So if you would like to volunteer, wave your hand or press raise your hand on Okay, we have a volunteer. Bree, are you willing to be my client here?
I am, and my apologies to everyone that I don't have video right now.
It's great to have you.
Thank you.
Something I'm going to tell, not so much you because you won't see me, but all the others that are going to watch me, expanding the view is a very physical pathway. It's not one that I ever coach just sitting in a chair. So I'm going to be moving around. I'm going to be inviting you, Bree, to move around. So I'm hoping that you are able to do that. Are you?
Yes.
Oh, good. All right. So people who are listening and watching, please make note of what I'm doing and the impact on the client. One of the things I'd especially like you to watch for is shifts in Bree's energy. So let's go. I do not need you to time me. I will be timing myself. So Bree, what would you like coaching on today?
It's actually something that was sparked by the idea of getting our coaching businesses moving forward. I'm in a stuck spot, and I would like support with the viewpoint I have about my competence and organization.
And so say specifically what you want to shift here.
Okay. So the viewpoint I'm in right now is that I don't have the organizational capacity to really support people as a coach because I lose track of notes and schedules, and I've messed up billing with some clients, and I'm so unprofessional that I might do more harm than good for their investment. I might not be a good return on their investment.
Wow. And what would you like to get to in our coaching?
I would like to get to a feeling where I feel confident enough that I can do good enough with the housekeeping stuff or the business part that my confidence and the freedom of me to just exercise my gifts, which I know I have as a coach, just so outshine that there's no question for anybody, me or the clients, that of my professionalism. That they're just like, oh, it's okay. You know what? She's a creative. And
yeah. Okay. So let's assume that we can get there and maybe better. What will be different if we get that?
I'll have less hesitancy when I am approached for coaching offers.
Yeah.
I'll just be ready to jump right in. So far, like all my coaching has been coming to me via word of mouth. I've been like super blessed that way. But I've been holding back because I don't want to get overwhelmed. So it's like, I'll be able to say yes and set out a clear plan and execute it. And also, even more, I'll be so confident and have the time structured so well that I'll have time for marketing, and I'll be seeking out new clients that I want.
Wow. Okay. And let's just make sure, why is this important to you?
I find it exhilarating to see my contribution to the world and to see lives impacted by my coaching. And I want the confidence and independence that I think will come when I have the income that I want from coaching.
Yeah. I'm really moved as I hear you talk about contribution and impact and confidence. This is about you bringing your gifts to the world and feeling terrific about it. And let's go for that. Okay. I just want to name that we can shift this. We really can shift this. And all it requires from you is that you be willing to look at other way. Look at this yourself as a coach in other ways and step into and embody that. And I'm wondering if you're willing to do that.
I'm willing to do that.
Fantastic. And I just want to check and make sure we're clear about what we're shifting here. So I heard that we may be talking about how you see yourself as a coach.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
Okay, so
What's another? Yeah.
yes. But within that is like this conundrum that that I feel like I'm in about, I guess it is. It does break down to how I see myself. Yeah, because I was going to say maybe there's actually some skills I need to go get
Right.
But that's still about how I see myself.
Right. Yeah. And currently it seems to you like it's your organizational capacity that is the issue. And once we do the viewpoint work, that may shift radically. And I don't want to limit us to just you and your organizational capacity.
Okay.
Because it's really how you see yourself as a coach, I think. Does that work for you?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. And the current way is, my lack of organizational capacity means I'm unprofessional and I'm not a good investment. Let's brainstorm. So by the way, I'm going to just name for those watching, that's our neutral topic. Not how can I fix my organizational capacity, which would be a topic that had a judgment or an opinion in it, but how I see myself as a coach. There's no judgment, opinion in it. And so it allows us the freedom to really explore viewpoints. So just a little sidelight for those watching. So Bree, let's brainstorm. And I want to, I'm going to stand up because it's what I do because I get excited, and it helps me be more fully present. And I invite you to get up also.
Okay.
And let's come up with a bunch of different ways to look at you as a coach. And we're not looking for a right way, we're just looking for different ways. And I will make note of them, and you can make note of them as well. But what's one different way of looking at yourself as a coach?
As an inspiration in my example of kind of like doing an awesome job. Okay, half-assing it. That's just what wants to come out. Like I'm so good that even when I half-ass it, I'm great.
I am so good. Even half-assing it, I'm great. Oh, wow. I heard your energy change when you said that. Let's keep going. Yeah, I hear I'm perfect just the way I am.
All right, when I hear you say that, I get like the tightness in my chest, and this like strategy occurs to me really quickly.
Yeah.
Should I speak it?
Sure, yeah.
It's that I have to do whatever I can to get a assistant like right away, even though I don't have the income to pay one yet.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
But that's like I want to emphasize the have to. Like that's like a very constricting thing. It feels hopeless to say that actually.
Well, God, yeah. So that viewpoint brought up a whole other viewpoint, which is something about I am so not perfect the way I am. I have to fix this thing.
Yeah.
By the way, one of the ways that we can get viewpoints is to look through other eyes. So this could be anybody. I'm sitting down just for a second, so I'm less of a distraction to those watching. Different eyes to look at this, you as a coach. Who else? What other eyes could we look at you through?
And these are eyes that I want to see myself through.
Yeah, well, no, it doesn't have to be. Any eyes. This
I
could
have
be.
somebody critical in my life right now.
Oh, well, let's put them down and then we'll get somebody else as well.
Okay. It's the critical person is saying, you are in denial about some shortcomings you have, and you're just going to stay stuck.
Okay. And do we have so we've already got a viewpoint. So, and so, by the way, these eyes could be an animal, could be a fictional character, could be your future self. There are any number of eyes we could look through. So what's one other?
Yeah, I want to get out of that like constrictive one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just you said animal, and it's my dog, and my dog.
Yeah.
Looks at me like, man, you are always ready for fun.
Yeah. Oh God. So I just want to name again the shift in your energy from the you are in denial to the dog's eye view, which is you are so ready for fun all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Let's come up with a metaphor for you as a coach. So just to create another viewpoint, we can use a metaphor. So what's could be something you love to do, could be a picture from nature, you know, like are you a tornado or a waterfall or a deep ocean?
Yeah. You know, I think I'm like sunshine.
Oh, yeah. That's great. So we've got a bunch here. I don't know if you've been writing them down. Have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so let me just read some of them.
Okay.
I am so good, even half-assing it. I'm great. Next, I'm perfect just the way I am. These are all viewpoints about you as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was, out of that came, I have to do whatever I can to get an assistant right now, even though I can't afford it. And then those critical eyes, you're in denial about your shortcomings. And then the dog's eye view, you are so ready for fun. And then the metaphor of, me as a coach, I am like sunshine.
Yeah.
And of course, a million other possibilities, but let's begin embodying them. And there's no right one. I just want to, so by the way, we're in step 2 of discovering multiple viewpoints, and we're going to stay there now while we embody them. So will you pick one? And it could be a different one other than this, other than the ones we have so far.
Oh gosh. Okay. I think it's that one that what feels urgent right now is you have to consider just like taking a loan, doing something to get an assistant right now. That's the only way.
Wow. And what I want to name is that feels a lot like your initial limiting viewpoint of there's something wrong with me that needs fixing.
Yeah.
So willing to go there, but it doesn't feel like that's the one that's going to shift the energy.
Yeah, that's okay. I like how you're saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I don't
get it because it feeds right into that first viewpoint.
Yeah.
Something's wrong here, and proves I'm no good. I better fix it fast.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like to be there.
Right, and so we're going to put that one in under that first set of viewpoints. So, which about what's wrong with you as a coach and why you're not a good investment. So
if I look at where I want to be right now, it's I feel like I'm forcing it a little bit to say that I'm like sunshine.
So you're not supposed to believe them yet.
Okay.
That's part of this. What you have to be willing to do is stretch into them a little bit.
Okay.
And I will help you. So
okay. Yeah, I'm willing to do that.
I actually hear the sunshine in your voice.
Okay.
So in your laughter and your energy, it is there. It's sunshine, a flowing brook, flowers, it's all in you. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. You're going to need to be standing up for this because viewpoints are sticky. They tend to hang on to you, as evidenced by your desire to go immediately to that. Here's what I have to do to fix it.
Yeah.
So I'm doing this too, but physically shake.
Yeah. Okay.
And imagine this like an old suit of clothes that no longer fits.
Okay.
Whatever you'd like, but let go of that old way of thinking. And I'm going to have you move, and as you move, step into the truth that you are like sunshine as a coach. That who you are as a coach is like sunshine.
Yeah, I've moved to a new spot.
Yep. How is this true, Bree?
I can almost always access warmth.
Yeah.
And I can, illuminate truths.
Wow. Warmth, illumination. Nice. I also hear your voice slowing down and sounding fuller. What do you notice?
Yeah, that feels true. It's like there's a fullness that's in there present with the tightness that's in my chest as I'm trying to let go of the last viewpoint, the urgent one.
Yeah.
I'm not pushing it out of the way.
Right.
But they're kind of, I have a presence.
Yeah, you do. And what do you notice? So I appreciate your ability to notice what's going on in your body. So notice what is happening. And by the way, I am moving a little bit just because I want to keep my own energy free and flowing as I'm coaching you. So notice what's showing up in you as you step deeper and deeper into the truth that you are sunshine.
Yeah, I'm that movement is helping me too. That's helping me feel that warmth extend farther into my body.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of, there's like a sense that I want to like pull it into parts of my body, like expand it, and there's a little bit of a struggle of like wanting to get back up into my head.
Right, but so let me help here.
Yeah.
You don't have to work at this. You are sunshine. Just allow that sunshine to permeate. By the way, I can feel it over here. So let it expand. Let it embrace you. And don't worry if other things live there as well.
Okay.
Just let the sunshine be. It is true. And it does warm and illuminate. Let it do that in you.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing what it's shining on, and it's just. I think. I mean, maybe like I'm kind of going with the images you just offered me of like the flowers, but I'm seeing like verdant grass and growth.
Nice. Wow. Let yourself fully embrace this truth.
Yeah.
So I want to check in from here. And when you look at yourself as a coach now, because that's what we're working on now, what's new when you look at yourself as a coach from I am sunshine?
There's more spaciousness that I'm experiencing.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like this reminder of the seasonality. I don't know. It's like a there's something here about like the trusting myself to go through seasons and cycles.
Wow. Oh my God. So you don't have to be one thing all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing I've noticed, and just want to check with you, that people feel that warmth and are drawn to you.
Yeah, that's really true. And I let myself see that.
Yeah. And so given that that's true, what's possible from here that maybe wasn't possible in that initial viewpoint?
Well, it's this like just, all right, so I've got a little tension here, a little struggle. It's
Yeah.
I connect to the possibility that just allowing that illumination to shine is just naturally magnetic and naturally I can see faces lighting up when I phrase things a certain way or offer an insight that came from a client. I love that feeling, but the tension is that, so it's this sort of judgment of myself of how frequently I let the clouds of self-judgment come in, which blocks that from shining out.
Yeah.
So I go back into that tight space again.
Right. So I just want you to notice how magnetic that original judging viewpoint is. And it's probably worthwhile. So I'm going to ask you, let's go back to that original judging viewpoint.
Okay.
Of, I can't do this. I'm unprofessional. We've added, so I'm sunshine, but then I let the clouds get in the way. So there's a whole group of judging that tends to grab you. But let's stand in it for just a little while to really claim it and notice it, and notice what the impact is of this group of judging opinions and attitudes. So what do you notice here?
So just noticing it, I felt some of the tension around my chest soften, like clouds softening. And I felt like I just got this clear image of clouds around. I don't have Eiffel Tower in my mind, but for some reason that was the image, like the clouds settling down into a fog around the base of me.
God, yeah. Oh my God, I love it.
So they're here.
Yeah, but they're not everything here.
Yeah, I love the idea. Like it felt so true to just say, okay, let's just stand in them. And so that's kind of what I did.
Yeah. Boy, so just like the sunshine isn't permanent, the clouds aren't either.
Yeah.
Whew, good work. Let's find another viewpoint. We need to keep this going. By the way, so we've started a shift. Let's take it farther. And
so, that's really uplifting. Like I really do feel taller, like the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, fantastic. So shall I say again the ones we haven't done yet?
I jotted them down, recapping them for me.
And so we can choose one of those, or that we can pick a completely different one. Something new may show up, and either one is great.
I think I'm drawn to the enthusiasm of my dog looking at me, like I'm always ready for that. Yeah.
So we are going to look through your dog's eyes at yourself as a coach. And what I know is that you're freer. So I'm going to ask you to move in a more free way. Let your body express that freedom as you step into your dog's eye view. I mean, I can even imagine you down on all fours.
Yeah, I actually am. I'm just hunched down. I know how to get my dog really wound up and excited, and I know how to do that with people too.
Yeah, right. Oh God, yes. Oh my God. So I hear you in it, which is great.
Yeah.
So what do you notice as you step into your dog's eyes, way of looking?
Oh, it's just Oh, that my dog just loves like how I'm just totally attentive to it.
Ah, yeah. Oh my God. So he really loves and responds powerfully to your attention.
Yeah, yeah. And it just that feeling of like, wow, this being, this presence is just really so into me and wants to see me be really happy and
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
And if your dog is anything like my dog, there's a little bit of that sense of, oh my God, this is the greatest person on the planet.
Yes.
Is there some of that?
Oh, completely. Yeah.
Yeah, so let that in. Oh my God, the greatest person on the planet is paying attention to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how is it being here?
It's exciting. Like I want to just stay here and
Yeah,
play and not think about it's so like it's so cool not to be thinking about the other stuff, other
right.
words. Yeah.
Yeah, because here, all that other stuff doesn't matter.
Yeah,
This,
it doesn't matter.
so what matters here?
It's like the instant responsiveness. Like I get a clue from
Ah,
what the dog's excited about. Like, oh, is she gonna go look at her toy, or does she want to like run zoomies around the yard with me?
oh my God, so what's important is how tuned you are to your clients and your surroundings. And
And
responsive.
yeah,
What
and
else?
how when I'm tuned in like that, how responsive they are to
Hmm.
like my silly, playful ideas.
Oh, God. So you invite them into openness and responsiveness with your attention and presence.
Yeah, that feels really true. Like I'm feeling that with the dog in the front yard right now, but I can feel that sense of like playfulness and back and forth with,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Oh, my God. So, what's possible from this dog's eye view when you look at yourself as a coach?
Oh, it's just like that amazing capacity to kind of crack people out of the status quo effortlessly. Like it's just a game. It's just a fun thing to try. It's just like experimenting and it's fun. Like hard work is so fun.
Oh, oh, God. Yes. So the things that felt so awful and hard become game, become fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So I am looking at the time, and we have time to do, I think, one more quick one. So will you choose another one? And I'm happy to, look for another new one with you if you want, or just choose one of the ones we already had. But I can sense a new freedom in you already. And so I wonder if a new viewpoint has opened up.
Let me think. It's something about like the momentum. It's something about momentum and like water flowing.
Oh,
And I don't know quite what.
good. So let's imagine you, and whatever it is, being the water, being in the water, feeling the flow, and we'll see the viewpoint that opens up from it. So
Yeah,
we're
flow is the word. I don't know if I am or I am on the water.
right. So great. At this point, let yourself be carried by the flow, and we'll see. And maybe you are the flow. We don't know yet. But put yourself in it fully. We're shaking off the old viewpoints and stepping into that feeling of the water flowing. And I notice my arms just going out and out from my chest, and that sense of like things are moving effortlessly.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like riding the waves. I feel like I'm kind of in a kayak, and so my arms are kind of alternating and swishing.
Oh, great! Yep, I
And
love it. I actually am a kayaker as well, so I know exactly. I'm moving as well. Oh, so there's you in the kayak and the water, and together, what is the sensation in the experience that you're having right now?
So right now, as a kayaker, like the dread is kind of exhilarating. Like the dread,
Oh, yes,
the
right.
anxiety is kind of like, oh, this is so exciting. Yeah.
Oh, God. So I love it. So step into that exhilaration and excitement. The like, oh boy, look, rapids.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, oh, I've got my helmet on. I know how to get through this.
Oh, God. Yes, you do. You do. So it's so striking. There's a real, I notice a power in you, and I wonder what you notice.
Yeah, yeah. Hearing myself, I know how to get through this.
Yeah. Oh my
I heard
God.
myself say it, and I was like, who said that? Because I don't know how to get through this.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
it was,
that's the old voice.
yeah, that feeling of flow
Yeah.
that I know, though, like that's more true.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that the old story is, oh, I have to fix myself. The new story is, I know this. The challenge is this is fun. This is not a stopper.
Yeah.
So here you are on the kayak, swinging down the river, excited, powerful, in the flow.
Yeah.
What shows up new around you as a coach?
Mm. I'm just kind of trying to be there right now.
Good. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's like a sense of trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the kind of sweet paradox is that I just said I kind of gave myself permission to just be in the flow,
Yeah.
and not worry. But like as soon as I gave myself permission to be in the flow, I was able to like not think about the flow and just look around and notice like, oh yeah, here I am in the rapids, but look, there's like these beautiful trees around me and the sunlight on the water.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to name what you said, is that I can be focused and notice everything around me at the same time.
Did I say that?
Not in those words, but
yeah, no, but that was true. What you just said was true.
yeah, I just paraphrased what you said.
Yeah.
And I'm focused on the rapids, but I'm seeing these beautiful trees, which is how I interpret it. It's like, yes, focused and taking in everything. And I'm also hearing a tremendous appreciation of yourself and your surroundings.
Yeah.
Is that true?
It is true. Yeah.
So let's look again. Well, this feels almost like a spiritual place to me. What about for you?
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking that too. It's a lot of like trusting the flow of the river rather than fighting it.
Yeah.
And kind of knowing like, boy, even if, well, my thought was my dread of like whitewater rafting is, boy, I could die doing this. But then I that flow feeling is like, oh, you know what? That's okay. That's
yeah.
Sort of
right.
like the universe is taking care of me. Whatever happens is okay.
Right. So not only do you know, but it's like you have a partner, it feels like. Is that at all true?
Yeah. Yeah. Partner sounds really singular, but it's like the momentum part.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So
of course, so the spirit or something.
The momentum. And
yeah.
I was just hearing a sense, though, that there's more here than just me.
Definitely. Yeah.
Given that that's true, there's a lot that's true here about your ability to be fully focused and noticing and appreciating and being in the flow and being able to face things and accept them and really feel the support, not only internally, but from outside as well. What does this open up in you as you look at yourself as a coach?
A real sense of trust that I'm right where I'm supposed to be, and the struggles I'm having are like informing me. They're good for me and good for everyone else. Yeah, that's actually, this is a little goosebumpy. Some of the words you just read back to me were pretty cool.
Yeah, I just shivered just as you were saying that. It was like, oh my God, yes, what a place. So we are arriving at step 3, which is where I'm going to ask you to choose the place that we're going to create from, both now and going forward for as long as we decide. So this means, what's the viewpoint that you want to select? And it can be one of the ones we chose. It can be a different one. You can combine them. You can have your dog in the kayak. Doesn't matter. I'm just asking you because it will give us a powerful place to create from. So
yeah, it's definitely the kayak. That was the place where my like thinking and my experiencing and my power were all together, not in conflict in any way.
fantastic.
So I'm there, and my dog's with me too.
Oh, good. And I'm bouncing up and down because I feel both your aliveness, your enthusiasm, and your power. And I'm so excited that this is where you get to create your life from. So choosing, in the kayak viewpoint of yourself as a coach, let's look at some possible things that you might do from here. And so first, before we even think about that, really be in the kayak. Notice I'm imagining it's a sunny day. Is that right?
Yeah.
So a sunny day in the, on the river, paddling fully in the process with your dog, reminding you how cool you are.
Yeah, the gratitude is really there. That's really big for me when I'm out in nature. Just like, wow, what a wonderful world. Like there's such order in everything. It all makes sense.
So I just wrote that down. One possibility is to be grateful about where I am as a coach.
Yeah.
What else?
Okay, so just allowing myself to be in that flow again.
Right. Just in the flow, and it doesn't matter if anything shows up, but I know that there is energy here, and let's notice what can come out of that energy. And just stay in the flow.
Yeah, it's kind of allowing myself to bump off the rocks and keep saying like, oh, I'm okay. Like the river is moving me forward. It's kind of naturally self-correcting.
Oh God! So use the metaphor to embrace the challenges that come. Is how I heard that. Yeah. So yes, bump off the rocks. What else? And these are just possibilities. So I'm imagining things like coach someone and take them on a kayak trip.
Yeah. The idea of companionship and equality and being in it with someone.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful to me.
So really holding companionship, equality, and being in it with your clients.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. What else?
Sort of like the laughter and lightness.
So bringing the laughter and lightness. Yep.
There's no sense of doing it right or wrong, really.
Ooh, yes, that's possible.
There's something about, I just keep having this image of like, my brain keeps saying, oh, but for this metaphor to work, you need to have some more tools to make sure that you can have your timer so you don't get so wrapped up in the kayaking.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to let go of that.
Yeah, good. Thanks for noticing the little, sabotage voice that came in.
Yeah.
And setting it aside. I'm imagining that part of this is that I keep my focus on myself and my client rather than where I think I fall short.
Yeah. I think I heard you say that I heard myself say something about like being able to maintain the focus and what's going on around me.
Right.
And that's what flow feels like. And I do trust my attentiveness to notice the angle of the sun and other, like my own fatigue. I do trust myself to be attentive to those things and not be so hyper-focused and in the flow.
Oh, nice. Wow. Tell me if you're writing these down.
No, I'm
That's
not.
fine. I am. So let's keep brainstorming just a few more, because I feel like there's more from here. Like, well, I don't know. It's like love myself and my clients comes to me.
Yes. There's something about like that trusting that we're going to see what we're supposed to see, and in terms of sort of like the terrain that we're going through.
Yeah.
Like we're going to get the right amount of challenge, and you can't anticipate what's going to be ahead. You know, we could run into a beaver dam or something, but we'll just handle whatever arises.
Yep. Wow. So let me just read them back to you. Be grateful about where I am as a coach. Bump off the rocks. A sense of companionship, equality, and being in it with my clients. Bringing laughter and lightness. No sense of right or wrong. Being in the flow and trusting my attentiveness. Loving myself and my clients, and a sense of trust. We will see what we're supposed to see in the process. How do those sound?
Yeah, and I think the one part that makes it more full, like my dog being there brings in, is just trusting how I am responsive to what's going on around me.
Yes. Yes. Wow. Not only your dog, but knowing yourself as a kayaker, that you respond. I have this feeling that, and I'm just imagining that as you trust yourself, organization will feel less like hard work. That from this kayak place, it will feel less like a big deal, and it will come more naturally. And when it doesn't, it's like, oh, wow, we bumped off that rock.
Yeah, I want that. I really, really want that.
Okay, so what will you commit to? We're right at the end of the session. Just want to check. Are there things that you want to commit to so that this doesn't just fade away?
I'm thinking I want to hang on to this imagery and the feeling of it. I'm imagining myself just sketching. I'm not much of an artist, but sketching sort of like a oil pastel real quickly to help me connect with how I feel and how I was standing and moving as I was going through the kayak, just like physically reconnecting with it. And hanging it on my bathroom mirror. I don't have anything up there like that right now.
I love it. And so not only creating that image, but reconnecting to it daily.
Yeah.
I love it. And are you willing, I want to make sure that this happens. Are you willing to check in with me? Send me an email, whatever.
Yes, I am.
Great. And so my email is steven@leadershipthatworks.com, STEVEN. So please, how soon do you want to do this, and let me know?
I am going to do it actually right away within this hour, whenever we're done.
Oh, fantastic. So when will I hear from you?
By noon today.
Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. I love it. All right. I don't know what time zone you're in, but it sounds like it might be pretty soon.
Yeah.
No, that's great. So, Bree, thank you so much. We're going to end here. I just want to name how much I appreciate stepping in so fully and with such commitment and enthusiasm to this process. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so everyone, I'm going to give you just a little time in silence to notice, like, what did I notice? What questions did I have? So taking a minute now, and then we'll talk for a little bit, and then we'll do some tips, and then we'll be done. So, and if you have a question or something you want to share, please raise your hand somehow. We'll take a few more seconds, and I saw your hand, Elena. Did you have your hand up, Sheila? Okay. Okay, let's get started. Elena, things you
Oh
know.
my goodness, Stephen and Bree, very impressive. Very, very impressive. It was no coincidence that you started, Stephen, with the dog on your lap.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
There's a concept called unconscious competency, Bree. Unconscious competency, and you have that. The kayak was so clear when she said she had gratitude of nature. She said such order in everything. And then the idea, I'm not a kayaker, but to be a kayaker, you have to do the details before you go into the beautiful challenge of kayaking. So there's a lot more, but I want other people to comment. So my body is full of sensation. Thank you.
Thanks, Elena. Sheila, hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. That was so fun. And what I loved especially is that I know, for myself, like viewpoints I can get really caught in. And I felt like there was so much flexibility, and you were like kind of inviting her, it could be you could create a combination of viewpoints. Like there's a lot of freedom and flow for for what like really wanted to come through. And yeah, I just felt like the freedom in that, and I just love the flexibility, like that really inspired me.
Yeah, thanks. Let's, Jackie, tell me who raised their hands.
Paulina, and I've unmuted you.
Great, Paulina.
Hi, I'm just going to echo what Sheila and Elena have said. I think that was, first of all, I couldn't stop smiling throughout the whole thing. It was brilliant. It was so brilliant, and it was so enlightening to see. So much like a dance, that flexibility was there. There was so much presence, so much inspiration, so much poetry. Amazing. Something that I really, really noticed, and I'd love to dive into if we have time, is the question that you asked in the very beginning, which was, let me see. You asked Bree if she was willing to step into or explore new viewpoints, and that was like the only qualification. And I thought that was really important, because I have struggled with getting a client to that position. Yeah. So, which I think makes it a lot easier. Not that it's supposed to be easy, but it's,
it makes it open. So I want to deal with that right now, because it's a really important point. People are more willing to go when they know where you're asking them to go and why, and if you ask them. And if they're not willing, you do another pathway. But when they are willing, then they've said, notice that there were some she had trouble getting into, but she didn't go, I'm having trouble, so I'm going to quit. It was like, no, she said, I really want this. I am willing. So she's already stepped in. And then I'm not dragging her around from viewpoint to viewpoint. We're in it together, just like Bree came to. We are in this together. So anyway, who else? Let's hear from some more people. Jackie, will you?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Ratna Devi and then Rashmi. Go ahead, Ratna Devi.
Thing that I really enjoyed you doing was when she was at the point where she was exploring what it was like to look at it from a particular viewpoint, you were adding some things in as well. Like you were saying, people are drawn to you, what the sunlight. And another point you were saying, when it was exploring the dog, you are the greatest person on the planet.
Yes.
So, I think that was really sort of upping the energy and the flow.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And just to name, that comes from my intuition, from my experience in the moment, and also calling out her power and and doing transformational awareness to say, well, here's what I'm picking up. How does that land with you? I say them, I check them out. So I don't assume that I'm picking up something that's real, but I want to put it in the pot and see how it lands. So thanks. Who else, Jackie?
Rashmi, and oops, your mic's open.
Yeah, this was so amazing to be a part of. And thank you, Stephen and Bree. And so what I enjoyed was the very minute noticing which Stephen did of the changes of energy in Bree's voice. And then the fact that there was the embodying of this energy in Stephen himself, which was, you know, one or two notches higher, and most of all, it was the willingness to see the beauty and the light in the client, and just making her see that.
Yeah, nice. And then was there one more?
Yes, we have one more, Shawnee, and you are unmuted.
Hi, I had a question based upon one of your answers to one of the previous questions, which is what happens if you do have a client that seems like you're sort of dragging them into this? How do you pivot out, or try to maybe open up another way so they might be more invested in doing this viewpoint?
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it is, by the way, this is a tip that I'm going to give you. It's normal for clients to resist, especially when they first experience this pathway. Just know that we are asking them to shift the foundations of their lives. These beliefs are the things that they live by. They haven't necessarily been consciously aware of them, but we as people hold on to those. It's normal. So first thing is welcome it. Name it, welcome it, make it okay that they're struggling. You get to say things like that, like it's normal that this could be challenging, especially when we're first trying it, because I'm asking you to shake up your deepest, most foundational beliefs about yourself in this situation. So when we can welcome it, it can soften. It really does make a difference to do that thing I did at the beginning, and I recommend this with every pathway, is to tell people what it is you're inviting them to do and why. Like, what can they expect? So you've already established, what do they want coaching on? What is it? Why is this important? And what is it they're hoping to get out of it? And then you're claiming movement together toward that and saying, here's a way that we can get to where you want to go. And ask them if they're willing. And so if it's exploring needs and values, you can tell them about that. If it's experiencing the moment, you can tell them about that. If it's envisioning the future, you can tell them about that. But if you do it with expanding the view, you're much less likely to have, the client is more likely to pull herself or himself through the resistance and less feel like you're forcing it. The other thing I will do is just name, this doesn't look like it's working. Why don't we try another pathway? So that's not often, but occasionally it's like, this is too entrenched, and maybe we're going to do a different pathway that feels less sticky or hard. So.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are there any more?
Yes, Ratna Devi. I'm sorry to ruin your name. Ratna Devi has her hand up again. Go ahead.
Do you ever feel like the critic, the one that has got objections to it, or it came up a couple of times, didn't it, in this session?
Yes. Yep.
Do you ever feel tempted to do some more work in it and just kind of shift pathways a little bit, perhaps, and do some, really some parts work and looking what's really going on there?
Sure. And so I'm addressing this to people who are just being acquainted with expanding the view. And so the answer for them is, please stay with the pathway. The pathway works to deal with that inner critic part, just the way I did it in the demo. And so, and as people get more experienced and have numerous pathways competently in their repertoire, of course, please notice where the power and the energy of the coaching is pulling and go for it. So it's not a yes or no. It's, of course, do both. Stay with the pathway and see it shift. Notice that there's something powerful to work with and work with it. So yes is the short answer to what you asked. Any more, Jackie?
Yes, one more from Sylvia. Go ahead, Sylvia.
Thanks, Jackie. So I want to step back just a minute back towards the beginning on how I really appreciate how you brought her into, where the viewpoint of the dog, and there was laughter and there was a shift of energy. And then almost right away, there was like an anxiety towards, having it look back like her original question that she was problems with. And, I have anxiety, so I pick up on people's anxieties really, really quickly, and I actually feel them. And I felt that one. Right. And so, and then as the time progressed, the conversation shifted back towards all the new realities and all the new things that she was experiencing and being able to attach to and open up to and live with by, yes, I'm going to put it on my bathroom mirror and I'm just going to revel in this for a while. Right. So if instead of looking at she's not resisting, so there's no sense in maybe looking at another pathway, past this. Right. So my question now, after having this said, is how can we take what has been learned from this, following this pathway, to go back to now I'm ready to take everything that I now know and go back and take some action steps into doing what I originally wanted to do. I'm okay with the fact that it hasn't worked. I'm okay with these new processes. What can I do now to help myself look into the future and solve my issues without anxiety?
So here's something really important to say. One that can come up at the next session. And this is like a really, really, really important thing. I want you to step out of the assumption that at the end of the coaching session, the original issue is still going to be an issue. It may not be. She now has a way of looking at obstacles as the rocks in the river, and that she welcomes. Kayaking is boring without any rocks or rapids. And so do not assume that we now have to go back and talk about organization. It may be right. It may not. So client will check in.
Yes. And I don't make any assumptions. I'm posing, actually I probably should have posed it differently, but what if the client, not at the end of this coaching, maybe they call back and say, hey, I really love that. I'm thinking about what's next. And it still is one of those, I've come across that rock. Now I'm ready to move past that rock. I recognize it. I validated it. It's there. And now, instead of moving it like I really wanted to do before, I want to take action to actually get past it. And it is actually a situation for them. I'm glad it's not, in this situation, but what if they come back to you at the next session? I'm not assuming anything.
Yep. And so what you need to do in every coaching is check and see where they are in relationship to the issue. Is this client in a place of alignment around it? If so, you're straight into, thinking, planning, and acting. Strategy and action. And that's great because she's creating from a place of alignment. If she comes back and says, uh-oh, I'm back. in the I can't do this, you get her to alignment, and then you create the strategy.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And, and I was looking at it as a place of I can do this. Now what do I do? Not I can't. She's not negative again. Just
Right.
I
So
can't. I can now do this.
You go straight into creating the action plan.
Oh, creating.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Creating.
Action, accountability. Let me just give you a few tips before we go,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll say goodbye. Things to know. Viewpoints are everywhere. I mentioned this, but it's just know that your clients come with viewpoints. Your job is to get good at listening to them and helping your clients notice when that viewpoint is getting in the way. So a viewpoint isn't good or bad, right or wrong, none of them are. It's what's the impact that we're looking at and being able to hear them. So one of the homeworks is to look for viewpoints everywhere. On TV, internet, they're everywhere. Conversations with coworkers or friends or family. So notice viewpoints and guess about the impact of the viewpoints that you notice. Another tip, expanding the view is about making our viewpoints conscious so we can free ourselves from ones that limit and undermine. Another one, use the steps to get you started and to get familiar. Once you get really good at this, you'll notice, it's like the steps were not like a structure that defined this coaching that I did with Bree. The steps fade into the background. It becomes a flow, but you need to learn the steps. You need to use the steps to get competent, and then you get to pay more attention to the fun, the creativity, and the playfulness. One other quick thing, stay away from jargon. I never have ever said, let's come up with a neutral topic with my client. Use your client's language for viewpoints. And so I'm noticing that we are coming to the end. So I'm trying to think. Yes, we might as well just end now. It has been a tremendous pleasure being with all of you, meeting all of you, being able to see some of you and hear the rest. Thanks for coming. I really was a treat. And thank you, Bree, for being the client here. All right. See you sometime in person, perhaps. I would love that. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.